guys, it's Heather at Homeschool Culture, and this is part 2 of what my 6th grader is going to take next year. The first part, if you haven't seen that, I've decided just now to call it part 1 and part 2, but the first part was about 20 minutes. It was on math, science, art, logic, and technology. And then this one is going to be your ELA, so anything from like vocabulary, spelling, grammar, literature, etc., and history and geography, which I'm kind of blending those two. We actually do a type of geography which is really more just kind of drill work with our family subjects. And so this is kind of an additional geography for my 6th grader this year. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Let's start with ELA. I plan on doing Easy Grammar grade 5. I still need to purchase the student book. I haven't purchased it yet because I have been on the fence for the last 6 months over should I do this or should I do Fix It Grammar. I literally, this morning, another YouTuber, homeschool YouTuber, came out with a comparison. I have not got to watch all of it. I plan on watching all of it. Hopefully that might help me decide. I would love your thoughts. If you've done Fix It Grammar and Easy Grammar, so Fix It Grammar I think is through IEW, or Easy Grammar, if you've done both, or maybe you've just done Fix It Grammar, which one do you prefer, or why do you like Fix It Grammar? The reason why I want to do this is because I already have the teacher manual. It's something that he actually doesn't mind doing twice. We do it twice a week? Yeah, we do twice a week. He doesn't mind doing it. We're really going, I didn't talk about this last time, but we've usually done 4 days a week, and I'm really going to introduce more work on the 5th day. We did math 5 days a week. We did reading 5 days a week, but everything else we kind of just did 4 days a week. And I am going to try to kind of bump that up a little bit and start doing more things 5 days a week. And so I might move it from 2 days to 3 days for grammar. Just throwing that out there. And again, put it down in the comments. What do y'all use and how do y'all do it? How many days a week? Okay, one thing that we're to continue doing is word a day, and it is only 4 days a week. And it is just a vocabulary. It's quick, it's simple. I like it for 2 reasons. He's introduced to new words. Sometimes he already knows the word, but most of the time he's introduced to a new word, and it gets him engaged by writing a sentence or 2 about that word. And so, not that he always follows the prompt, but sometimes, most of the time he does. It's something that he actually doesn't mind doing. Let me backtrack one more time. If you are watching this and the first time you ever seen it, and me talking about my son, he does have dysgraphia, dyscalculia, and dyslexia. And so sometimes with dyslexia and dysgraphia, writing a lot is a lot harder for someone that has those disorders than just your average student. And so but I still think that this is the real world, we have to do it. And so incorporating, anytime he can write, I do try to incorporate that as much as possible without fatiguing him. Okay, so anyways, that's vocabulary. He actually likes it, so we'll keep doing that one. Not one of his favorites, but he doesn't mind it, is spelling, but absolutely 100% wonderful, I think for all students, but especially dyslexic students, because it teaches it teaches spelling through phonics as much as it can. Of course, we're on level 5. I think there's only 7 levels. And so we're probably starting to get into a lot of those spellings that don't necessarily follow phonics rules. I have a feeling we're going to start getting into those more so. But if you did all about reading and you're on the fence about all about spelling, absolutely do it. It is phenomenal, and I think it has helped him with his spelling tremendously. Another thing that I discussed last video, in case you didn't see it, is that we are an eclectic homeschool, but definitely lean towards Charlotte Mason. And so we do Copywork. A lot of Charlotte Mason will do Copywork from whatever they're reading. I like these practice books for like cursive. We were going to start this last year, but he actually never got to it because we only did Copywork twice a week, so we didn't actually get to this. We finished some other books. But I am going to have him do Copywork every day this week. I want him to do Copywork in cursive, and it is, so he's going to start with this book. It's cursive writing practice, inspiring quotes, And then also I went online and I found this. I think it was about $20, which is a little pricey to me, but Scripture Scribes. And this is intermediate level, volume 1, and it's the same thing, but it's scripture. The only thing is, I don't think I'm going to have him write in this. I think I'm going to have him use this, which I bought off of Amazon. I wish I could remember the name of the people that make these. But the Primary Copybook Notebook. Because again, I want him used to writing in cursive, and I think it not being, you know, right underneath, but having, even though it's right next to him, but still, I don't know. I feel like this is going to help him where he continues doing copy work in cursive without necessarily seeing the cursive. Does that make sense? So that's my goal, is eventually get to that. Okay, the next thing is reading, literature. We ended up not getting through 2 books this last school year, and so we are going to do those over the summer. And so instead of collecting all these books, I've decided I'm just going to collect a few and then get through these. And then if we get to a point where, okay, we're done with these books, then I will filter in some more. I like going to like websites that show like classics for, you know, certain grade levels, etc. And I usually pull from those types of books. This year I kind of didn't do that. So I got, this one is the National Parks Mystery Series, Book 3, The Grand Canyon. And I, again, watching YouTube, someone suggested this. They said their kid really liked it. I looked at reviews and it seemed good. And so I thought this would be fun, even though, well, that doesn't matter. We're going to do U.S. Geography again next school year, 7th grade. But I wanted to go ahead and get this now. I think he's actually going to like it. Young Man's Guide to Making Right Choices, Your Life God's Way. And so this is more of a nonfiction book of just making good choices, because he actually likes nonfiction a lot. And he was looking up online not too long ago, like habits of, you know, I don't know, like a 6th grader or something like that. He was looking for information. So I found this and thought this would be a good place for him to start kind of making good choices, habits, etc. Another one I chose was Exploring the New World, which I'll explain why, or you'll see why in a minute, because we are doing, it kind of fits with our history this year. But it's an interactive history adventure, and it's not very thick. So we might even start with this one. It says 5 paths, 43 choices, 18 endings. And I thought this would be fun. And then for kind of an in-between, or maybe, you know, some days do this and do this other days, I got the McGuffey's 6th Eclectic Reader. So like finding books that he likes is so hard, like, you know, novel type books or chapter books. And so I kind of wanted to go this route, but kind of go old school instead of like newer type stuff, because it is short, like little short stories. And so I'm hoping he appreciates that aspect of it. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I decided to pick this up. Okay, so that's ELA. Not the fun stuff in my opinion, but you know, definitely necessary. Okay, so I think that anytime you're doing history, you definitely can bring in geography, just because learning with maps, etc., I just think makes it come alive for your student. And so what we're going to do, instead of doing a time period, in the past I've done like Mystery of History, and we've done like the 4 time periods. I'm on the 3rd book of Mystery History, or I should be, let me rephrase that. The 3rd book of Mystery of History, which is the like Age of Exploration and Renaissance, things like that. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to step back this year, because again, it just, even though it's a great curriculum, I tend to every time, like I just kind of get bored with it, and I feel like he does too. And so I am going to do Explorers. I have this Fandex as kind of, I don't want to say it's a spine, but it's going to be something that we actually use during morning basket. And so I'll talk about that more in our family studies video. I kind of have 2 spines, in my opinion. I have this book, Exploring Planet Earth. I don't know if you've ever seen these books. It says Exploring Planet Earth, the first in a series of 3 books on science. This book has broad appeal, which sounds weird, right? Because it's history. Has a broad appeal for any age, elementary age child, but is written specifically to the source as a source tool for 5th grade through junior high level. So again, a great book if you have multi-age elementary kids, even up into middle school. It says blending a creation perspective of history, so there's your history, with definitions and terms, identification of famous explorers, scientists, etc. So I'm going to use this as a spine with the explorers. I might not do every section because I don't want to be too redundant in some of these other books. I hope I did not just mess this up. I apologize if it did. And so this summer, I'm going to have to really do my due diligence at reading through this and then going through this stack and then adding on. I'm also going to use this Atlas of Exploration as another spine, and it starts at the very beginning, which is where we're going to start. So it starts traveling traders, the purple men like the Phoenicians, ancient Polynesians, etc., all the way down to science and discovery, like the 20th century. And so I probably do less of that and focus more up here. And there's actually 37 different topic areas in this book. And since I'm doing a 36 week, but because of some of the geography I'm doing and some of the books we're reading, I'm going to have to either cut out a few of these or combine them into multiple weeks. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to be using this, and this is kind of a, like again, kind of a spines to help plan out all of the curriculum. Some of the books I've picked up is Leaf the Lucky, which I say picked up. I've had this forever. So something fun just to get into Vikings. And here's another Viking DK book. Oh, and let me explain this to you. So I'm going to be reading, so not every week are we going to go, like some of the weeks we might learn about an explorer and just watch a video on YouTube about it. Some weeks we might, I might try to find a picture book about it, or some other, I have a lot of other like US, like the DK history books that might have more information on a specific explorer, and I might pull from that just to kind of read a little bit extra into it. So I might not go into extreme depth each week with each explorer just because of time, but the ones that I do want to go in depth of so far for sure are going to be the Vikings, like I said, Leaf the Lucky. We'll read through this because it's just a fun one. I don't think he's ever read through it with me. And then this is a DK Vikings book. And we're going to do Marco Polo, Magellan, Lewis and Clark. And then I haven't decided yet, I might use this Genevieve Foster Columbus book. I might also use this kind of as a third spine and just pull from it information when needed as well. But what I'm going to focus on these specifically is going to be tied into our geography. So let me put these down for a second and talk about geography. Okay, so geography, I'm doing kind of multiple things. I'm going to do some mapping, which I'll talk about in a second. I'm going to have him I'm going to read through this with him this summer, this elementary geography, to make sure there's nothing that we missed, we've learned a lot of geography over the years, but I'm going to use this as a guide to just reiterate those things that he's already learned and then go through anything else that maybe he has missed. So this is going to be the summer. So outdoor geography, it says, is used in Charlotte Mason schools. It's a practical geography complete with experiments, activities, questions, and answers to help students understand the world around them. This I plan on doing for him in afternoon. So this will be like afternoon activities. But the next part I want to do is mapping. I want him to start getting used to creating maps. I found a YouTube video. I think she's more of a Waldorf inspired type homeschooler. And I wish I could remember her name, so I apologize. But she did some mapping with her, I think then 5th grader. And one of the things she started with was this Looking Down book. And it's really getting you thinking about, what's the world look at from like a bird's eye perspective. And so we're going to do simple things like we'll start with his room and like having him draw out his room. And then we'll start with our little town here, and then maybe build up into like our county. So we might do that for 1 or 2 weeks. And then this is a book I purchased called Personal Geographies, Explorations and Mixed Media Mapmaking. And it's a little bit more than what I thought it was going to be, but it has some fun stuff in it. And so I probably will just kind of pick and pull from this. And then I also thought this would be fun to do maybe for like a co-op class. And so I'm going to utilize this some to just kind of work on some beginning mapping stuff with him. But the thing I'm excited about the most is getting into mapping out these explorers' routes. So starting again with the Vikings, I'll just download PDFs off of the internet, and we'll print them out and draw on those. And then the same with Magellan. The one I did purchase, because Marco Polo's is so vast, I did purchase this beautiful feet. I did purchase this beautiful feet map to go with the Marco Polo book. And you can see this is a little bit of an extensive book. So I figure this is something that I'm going to probably read to him. And it probably will take us 2 to 3 weeks to get through it. And so that's what we're going to do for one of the studies. Oh my goodness. Did I already say Magellan? We'll go through this. And then I think we'll end with the mapping with the Great Expedition of Lewis and Clark. And I will probably, I don't know if I'll buy the Beautiful Feet book, the Beautiful Feet map from Rainbow Resource of the United States or not. And I might even find another resource as well. This might be something that he reads aloud to me as part of like his literature. And then we might get a thicker, more in-depth Lewis and Clark one that I read to him for, through history. So I haven't really decided on that one. I'm not going to take every single explorer and map out every single explorer. That wasn't my plan. My plan was to just kind of give him a foundation of the explorers throughout history, and then again pick and choose, which I picked the Vikings, Magellan, Marco Polo, and Lewis and Clark, and go from there with the mapping activities. I hope that makes sense. I might try to find, using the Mystery of History book, if there's any activities, and then just use like Pinterest or the internet, Google, to find out some other activities. So again, this is kind of a loose plan of what I want to do. Like I can picture it in my mind. I just have to kind of plan out. Now I need to take the summer and plan out the time it's going to take us to do each thing, because again, I definitely know I want to map out these explorers, but I thought it would be fun starting with the mapping process by doing the room, the little town, and then maybe even our county. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know down below. But yeah, that is what we're doing for history, geography, and all of our ELA stuff. I would love to hear from y'all down in the comments. What are your favorite history go-tos, geography, ELA? Definitely please let me know if you've done Fix-It Grammar, and if you enjoy it, or you maybe say pass, don't do it. And just know that I have, my next video will probably be my high schooler, and then I'm still waiting for some stuff to come in from eBay for the family studies. And so that is slowly but surely, it's like that trickling, it's just trickling in a little bit here and there. So hopefully that'll be in soon, and I'll get a video out on that in the next week or so. Okay, I hope you have a super blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.